This is another results of our Speak Up survey. I decided because we had 19 teachers to do kind of a report on the 19 teachers from our district. But most of these teachers, 84% of our teachers, well, it says 19 total teachers participate in the survey. Most of them are from the grades 3 through 5. We do have three teachers from this age. So most of them were the intermediate grade levels. We did have a couple of K1-2 teachers also in this mix, and then one for all grades. And what subjects do you currently teach primarily? And general elementary, 83% of them were. So let's go on down here. We did have one technology teacher. Thinking about your peers, do you consider yourself, and once again the percentages line up fairly close to the national averages. The next question, what types of electronic devices do you have accessed for your own use? And we have a higher number than the national number of people that have teachers that have access just to cell phones. But then it's doubled on the national norm. 54% have smartphone capabilities, where only 20% of our staff members that surveyed have smartphones. Computer provided by my school, 81% nationally, 44%. This is probably one of the most staggering or most things that jump out at me in this survey. We're a little higher here. My own personal laptop or other computer, about same here. Digital reader, 24% of people, teachers nationally have digital readers. We're only 11%. We're very similar here, similar here, similar here, and on down to number 6. Which of these activities do you regularly do using technology for professional tasks? 100% of our teachers communicate with peers or parents using these methods. And here's a big difference. 35% nationally, only 5% here. Communicate with students using email, IM, which is instant messaging or text messaging. And there's a fairly good amount on the national level that does this, and where we're not doing any of this. One teacher did say they do some communications. These line up fairly close. Create multimedia presentations. We have over half the teacher survey nationally, only 37% from our side. Similar. Manage electronic portfolios, 3 times as many national teachers compared to just 5% for us, which is one teacher in this survey. These are fairly close. This one here, take an online class. 16% of our teachers, were 38% nationally, have taken an online class. And these are similar. How to use technology to facilitate student learning. And similar here, similar. 10% difference here. Create graphic organizers for comparing, classifying, creating metaphors and analogies. Big difference here, but there's only one that's indicated this. Facilitate group collaboration and structure. Twice as much here. Note taking and census of information, 30% on the national level, where 16 with us. Students create movies or animation, 19% nationally, only 5% for us. Track the relay, that one's similar. On down number 8. How important is the effective implementation of instructional technology to your students' success? Extremely important. 36% nationally say they feel it is. Only one of our teachers. This one here lined up. And then somewhat important, 42% were nationally, 17%. Now, this nationally assessed survey goes to thousands and thousands of teachers across the United States. Many schools are exploring how to leverage mobile devices such as smartphones, tablets for student achievements. What do you think would be the primary benefits to incorporate such devices into instruction? Access to online textbooks, 68% say this, where we only say 42%. A big difference here, improved teacher, parent, student communications. Half of the teachers nationally, were only a third of us think that will help. And that's probably some of our reservations about just what is the connectivity of our homes, our parents. Similar. Similar. Students develop stronger communication skills. And these are similar. Number 10, excuse me, what is your biggest concern about students using mobile devices in your classroom? I'm concerned students will cheat on tests, 35%. We have just 21%. This is similar. Stronger here, I don't have curriculum to support their use. On down here, similar. Parents will not support the use of mobile devices, 26% we believe, only 9% on the national level. And we do have some very conservative constituents in our district, so this very well is a valid point maybe. Similar and similar. What is your involvement interest in online or blended learning environments? Nationally, only 6%. I've taught an online class. I've taken this kind of online class for my professional development. We're not too far behind the national average. I would be interested in teaching an online class. Only two of our students, our teachers that surveyed, were at 21% on the national level. Similar, little difference here. What are your preferred methods for professional development? Similar, little difference here. Here's a pretty much difference, 53% to 35%. Peer-to-peer or school study teams. Our staff that were surveyed, they'd prefer this rather than as a preferred method of professional development. That's probably that's also a school improvement plan thing. Point to consider. And number 13, what would be the benefits of taking an online professional development course? These are similar, a little difference here, but only one person. I am better organized. And quite a few of us have not taken courses. These are similar statistics within range. Number 14, how would you like your district to use technology to create professional learning community or practice? Partner with universities, provide graduate level courses. 4% would desire that on the national. We're at 28%. These are similar. Pretty good point spread here. Provide easy access to student data that I can use to inform my teaching. We have access to data, and it's interesting that we have this discrepancy here on the national level. They don't have access to some of that data. Through Data Director, we do. A little difference here. Provide online courses. Nationally, they kind of want that. We're not so sold on that. 61% to 43%, provide tools that enable me to collaborate with teachers at my school. We're interested in having more of that. Maybe with our new Stages software, that may be a component, I don't know. Looking down, here's 21 to 6. Use blogs or wikis to share best practices. Nationally, 21%. We're only at 6%, or one of our teachers so indicated. Other ones look very similar. In the past year, which of these things have you done on your own, not district directed or part of formalized professional development class, to improve your teaching effectiveness? Here's a big difference here. Attend a face-to-face conference. Nationally, 47% of our teachers, we're only at 21%. We've tried to stay more focused, not going to face-to-face conferences as much. Look, I'm looking for, sizable discrepancies. When we only have a sampling of 19 that are given indication, but it's pertinent to our 3, 4, 5 teachers. We have a couple K1, 2 teachers in this mix and one technology teacher. These percentages don't necessarily jump out at me so much. What types of digital content are you currently using in your classroom? 3D content, no one yet. Some of us know what's happening with 3D content with the new televisions and things. Projections will be coming up where kids will see 3D without having to wear glasses in the classroom. Online supplemental materials, 34% nationally. We're at 26%. Here's a podcast or video. What types are you currently using? We're using some of these things. We're higher more than what is being used in the national area. Here's one that's doubled on the national side. Software to help students develop skills such as reading, writing, math, foreign language. Okay, and 17, thinking about the use of game-based software and applications for instructional purposes, what would be the primary reason you would be interested in using digital or online games in your students? You may recall that the students, they like online games, and they so indicated that in their surveys in the grades 3, 4, 5. Student engagement and motivational tool, nationally 70%. We're at 58%. Similar in most of the responses, similar. 18, which of the following professional development experiences or resources would you be most effective in helping you better use digital content in your classroom? Similar percentages. Number 19, which of these factors would you consider most important when evaluating the quality of digital content to use in your classroom? Materials are created by practicing teachers. Both are lining up, but it's a strong percentage that teachers are saying both places. Referred by a colleague. We don't see much discrepancy, but our teachers are agreeing somewhat on the national level. How much do you agree with this statement? My school is doing a good job of using technology to enhance student achievement. 58% nationally agree. We're only at 26%. Disagree, we're at 32%. Nationally, 12%. So we do see a discrepancy here. I think our teachers are saying we need to do a better job with using technology to enhance student achievement. There's a lot of discussion about the value of online text versus printed text. Thinking about your classroom and students, which of these statements are true for you? My students have better comprehension retention after reading printed text. We say printed text, nationally at 29%. A little similar here, similar here. Here's a discrepancy. I think that reading online better suits how my students want to learn. Nationally, they think we see more of that desire than maybe what our teachers see that. Big discrepancy here. It is easier for my students to take notes when reading a printed text. We think it's easier on the national. They don't. Here's a big discrepancy. I am reluctant to assign online reading because my students don't have access to the internet outside of school. 38%, and we say 74%. We really need to determine just what is the connectivity of our students at home. Pretty good point spread here. When I'm preparing for a lesson, I am more likely to print supporting materials than just rely upon the online versions. These line up fairly well. 22, which of these have been problems for students at your school? Similar. Little difference here. Seeing websites with inappropriate content. 32% across the nation. We're only at 12%. Two of our teachers. And of course, the word inappropriate, they could be defined in many different ways.